He said, I don't look at myself as a white hope. I just consider myself as a hope. He's a very fine hitter, but he's a good-looking 6'5". They call him Gentleman Jerry Cooney, and he certainly has won, I think, a legion of fans this afternoon because he is, without question, the hardest puncher. We have looked at the young heavyweights, as you know, Greg Page, Michael Dokes, but no one can punch of the young heavyweights, in fact, perhaps of all the heavyweights, as Jerry Cooney can. And we're going
Rahway State Prison, a maximum security facility located in Rahway, New Jersey, which is some 30 miles outside of New York City. And it is the home of James Scott, always a controversial figure.
My manager, Al Dickens, and myself have prepared a strategy for this fight. As everybody knows, we live by this saying, a quitter never wins and a winner never quits. This is going to be a very exciting fight. It's the kind of fight that you can't afford to leave the TV set for 1 second. You might miss something.
And it is 100 degrees inside the ring here at Rahway State Prison, which could certainly take its toll on both James Scott and Jerry Martin. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert along with Ken Norton. And Ken, we have a matchup of two very aggressive fighters. I'm wondering what effect that heat will play.
They're both going to be very aggressive. Number one, Jerry Martin once tried to change to being a boxer. It didn't work. So now he's back to slugging again. So it's going to be a fact of who's in the best shape, who wants it the most, and who has the most the guts with his heat. It's at least 100 degrees, as you said before. And I feel it's going to be a good slug feast. I take Martin.
Okay, picking an upset. He is ranked the #1 contender by Ring Magazine. And he's making his way toward the ring to meet up with Jerry the Bull Martin of the fighters. Let's go to the ring announcer. Here's Frank Shane.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Rahway State Prison, where this afternoon Don King Productions will bring you an afternoon of boxing entertainment. Don King, promoter. Tonight, this afternoon's bouts are sanctioned by the New Jersey State Athletic Commission. Former heavyweight champion Jersey Joe Walcott, Commissioner, and Deputy Commissioner Robert W. Lee. The officials assigned by the New Jersey State Athletic Commission, the doctors in attendance at ringside, Dr. Philip McLaren, Dr. Herbert E. Cassidy, the timekeeper Roosevelt Gibson, counting for the knockdowns at the bell, Larry Hazard, the judges Richard Murray and Eva Shane. The referee in the ring at this time, Paul Venti. This contest, 10 rounds. In the red corner, he's wearing red trunks, trimmed with white, weighing in at 184 pounds. He is the United States Boxing Association and National Boxing Federation champion from Philadelphia, Jerry Martin. And his opponent in the blue corner, weighing in at 175 3/4 pounds. He's from Newark. He is the #1 contender of the United States Boxing Association, James Superman Scott.
So James Scott being greeted by what will be a partial James Scott crowd, with inmates looking on, some 200 to 300 draped over this ring area. We are scheduled for 10, scoring by rounds. As you look at the psyching attempts by both Scott and by Martin, a supplementary point system in effect on a 5-point basis. So if there's a draw, they go to the point system. Mandatory 8 count will be utilized. The 3 knockdown rule is waived. It is up to the referee to stop the fight. The bell does not save the fighter, except in the final round, as James Scott in round #1 goes up against Jerry Martin, 26 years old, born in Antigua, now lives in North Philadelphia, record of 18-1, 12 of the 18 by knockout. He is ranked 2nd by the WBC and 10th by Ring Magazine. And Ken, this is first time on national television, but he feels that if he could get by Scott, and you picked him in an upset, it could lead to a title fight.
First, I would like to say that Mr. Martin only weighs 174, not 184 as previously stated. And he tried boxing once, it didn't work, so now he's brought back to slugging, and he feels this is his main asset. In this fight, we should see a lot of slugging, a lot of inside fighting, a lot of hard work on the inside. And I feel that the man who takes it to the other man, the fighter who takes it to the other fighter, really, is the one who will be victorious.
And as we mentioned right at the start, it is very hot inside the ring. At the 100-degree mark, James Scott in the black, Jerry the Bull Martin in the red. And we're in round one. Marv Albert and Ken from the Rahway State Prison, Rahway, New Jersey.
So far in this round, both men are trading body punches and head punches. And this is where you find out who's the toughest and who wants it the most. Because those body shots take a lot out of you, plus the fact when you get a hit, it hurts quite a bit. Plus, when you throw a body shot, as compared to throwing a head shot, you can use twice as much energy.
And they have been going at close quarters right from the opening bell, exchanging body blows. The referee is Paul Benton. James Scott with a good left hand.
And Mr. Martin with a very good left hook.
Scott's last appearance was a fight telecast by NBC Sports 4 last December. He looked very impressive by winning a unanimous 10-round decision over then #1 ranked contender Yaki Lopez. Jerry Martin sending Scott to the canvas, and as you can see, he is hurt. James Scott, who had been knocked down only once before as a professional, sent to the canvas in round one by Jerry Martin. And Scott is hurt. A stunner here in round one. Scott's legs looking very wobbly.
Very wobbly. I told you Martin was a sleeper. We didn't know much about the man, but he said he'd be a very good, hard puncher. He works hard, he hits hard, and he wants it very badly.
Scott just looking to last out this round. 20 seconds remaining as Jerry Martin goes to the attack on Scott, who is hurt. Scott just hanging on.
Scott is hurt very bad.
Final seconds of the round, and Scott will last it out. And this is round two. Jerry Martin stunning everyone here at Rahway by knocking down James Scott in round one. And can you get the feeling that Scott very fortunate to hang on and last the round?
He's going to have to hang on this round too because he's still very wobbly. And he's taking good hooks. He's still standing. He's standing right there. Now it's the point of Scott trying to stand inside and smother Martin's punches. If he goes outside, he'll be on the end of the punch and he can get hurt even worse.
I know you picked Martin before the fight. Good left hook by Scott. Now that rallies the crowd. Dr. Ferdy Pacheco, who is in the corner of James Scott, said to me before the fight, this would be Scott's toughest test. Even tougher than Yaki Lopez.
As you can see, Scott was hurt, but he's coming back strong. He's trying to stay inside. He's pressing the action, and he knows the safest place is on the inside.
Good right hand by Martin.
That was a good right hand by Scott. As you see there, he's still stumbling. He still isn't off quit street yet, but he's working very hard.
In Martin's last fight, and Scott is hurt again, and down he goes for the second time. James Scott has been knocked down prior to today only 3 times, once as a pro, twice as an amateur.
You notice the shot, it was a right hand over the left jab.
And Martin is looking to put Scott away. Once again, it's a round of survival for James Scott, only halfway through the second round.
The only thing right now that Martin has to watch is punching himself out. He has to realize that it's very hot in there, and by punching so hard, plus the heat of the lamp, it's taking a lot of energy out of his body.
Jerry Martin backing Scott into the corner. Martin is ranked second by the WBC as you look at Dr. Ferdy Pacheco in the corner of James Scott. And Jerry the Bull Martin is ranked 10th by Ring Magazine. He's the light heavyweight champion of the United States Boxing Association and the North American Boxing Federation. An exchange of body blows by Scott and Martin. Let's go. Good left hand by Martin.
First, it was a good right hand following the jab. Followed by a good left hook by Martin. All three blows landed. And all three very hard and right on the spot.
James Scott has already been knocked down twice, once in the first and once in the second round. As the second round comes to a conclusion, exchange by Scott did not land, and that will do it for round two. An impressive start for Jerry Martin, a one-time sparring partner for Matthew Saad Muhammad, Mike Rossman, Marvin Johnson. Martin says they all dismissed him from their training camps because he was too good for the job. And we have seen evidence of that right at the start. Martin's only lost back in May of '77, lost by decision to Pablo Ramos, that in a 7th pro fight. He's 18-1, and a big opportunity right here, although Scott showing some signs.
Now we will see how much Scott has recovered. This round he looks better than he did in the last round. His legs look more steady, and he's throwing 1-2s. Dr. Pacheco told him to throw 2 jabs, 1 jab followed with the right hand. We will see now if he is absorbing what he was told and he's able to execute.
A minute in, round 3, and Scott landing to the body.
What I've noticed so far, every time Martin throws a jab, Scott turns his head slightly to the right, which leaves him open for the overhand over the top. If Martin follows with a straight right hand, each time he throws it, with his head Scott with it.
And as you mentioned earlier, Ken, the last couple of fights, Jerry Martin went to a scientific boxing style, but he is right back as a puncher, which is similar to the style of Scott.
Very similar. In fact, Martin says this is what he likes the most. We talked earlier, and he said he's tried to box. He didn't like boxing. He'd rather bang, and he's been banging every round so far.
The boxing style nearly cost him in his last 2 fights, particularly against Jesse Burnett, a man that James Scott knocked out several years back.
And as we can see, he has not been affected by the pressure of coming into the prison.
Break, step out.
A minute left, round 3, right hand landed by James Scott. Once again, we remind you about that heat factor. It is 100 degrees temperature inside the ring, and you wonder what effect that will have as this fight progresses. Scott has already been knocked down twice.
Scott's been knocked down twice. On the other side, Martin has been throwing a lot of punches. So the heat is going to be a telling factor later on in the fight. A big factor.
Referee Paul Venti breaks the fighter. Landed by James Scott, prompting a reaction from the crowd. Good round for Scott after big trouble in the first 2. Round 3 is over. All right, Ken, here's the stunner in round 1, right here on his home territory. James Scott was put down by Jerry Martin.
I think it surprised Scott as much as anything else. As I said before, whenever Martin jabs, Scott turns his head to the right. As we saw there, Martin jabbed to the right hand right behind the jab. Each time he turns his head, Scott will get hit.
Scott was able to get up, was knocked down in the second round, went stumbling around, was able to get up, had a good third round, and now it's on to round 4. James Scott in the black trunks, and Jerry Martin in the red.
And you notice Scott's eyes are very clear now. His legs are steady, and he's starting to work more. He's coming inside. He's going to try to work the man, make the man use his power, make the man use all of his energy. And here we see in the corner that Martin, when he's throwing the body punches, he's leaning on Scott, which Scott has to hold his weight up, plus Martin's weight, and he's smothering Scott's inside punching power.
Good right hand by James Scott.
That's an exchange of right hands. A right hand by Martin, followed with a counter right hand by Scott.
These are 2 very well-conditioned athletes, 2 very strong fighters. In fact, Martin's manager Leon Tabb said that Martin's had trouble getting fights because he's so strong. People have stayed away from him.
Very well conditioned and not only strong, but they have good snap in their punches. I feel that Martin is a better puncher, though. He has a harder punch and it's snappier, whereas Scott punches, Scott has to wear you down over a period of time.
Jerry Martin's fitness win, December of '79. Decision over Jerry Celestine of New Orleans, a man that James Scott also beat by decision. We're halfway through round 4.
Oh, very good uppercut, right uppercut, left hook by Mr. Martin. Right now he's taking the play away from James Scott. In order for Scott to do something, he's got to come toward Martin, take the play away, and force the action. He gives Martin time to punch, time to think. He'll stay behind, and he'll never be aggressive.
Martin not providing much punching room for Scott. And again, up against the ropes, the referee, Paul Venti, breaks the fighters.
As you saw right there again, Martin jab, Scott turned his head to the right in order to get away from the jab. Each time he turns his head to the right, he cannot see the right hand coming. There he was very lucky. Martin didn't follow with the right hand. He's going good inside shots.
Martin almost pushed Scott to the canvas. Left hand delivered by Martin. Again at very close quarters.
It's also very dangerous in getting a butt. The heads are very close, and very easily a man can get a butt on a cut.
Scott got a left hand in.
As you can see, as long as Scott tries to lead, he's doing better. When he waits, that's when he gets caught.
Final seconds, round 4, and the hand for James Scott, who has come on after a shaky start. This is round 5. Marv Albert and Ken Norton on NBC Sports World from the Rahway State Prison, Rahway, New Jersey. James Scott has been put down in round 1 and then again in round 2 by Jerry the Bull Martin out of Antigua and Philadelphia. But Scott has come on, third round on, and has been able to rally. A chant of Rajan from the inmates.
Bullshit!
Between rounds, that's Scott's Muslim name, and that chant has been heard right throughout the bout. The referee, Paul Venti, warning both fighters they did not break upon instruction.
Very good uppercut by Scott, and he set him up well for it. So far, he's been coming off the brakes, throwing an overhand right or something, or a straight jab. That time, he made the same move with the left shoulder and came underneath with an uppercut, right uppercut. Very effective. But it didn't hurt the man. I think it goes back to what I said before. Scott's punches, he has to wear you down. Hard, devastating punch. Where on the other hand, Martin does.
Which is Scott's style. He just keeps throwing punch.
He wears you down. That pressure, that steady pressure. Now Scott's trying to wrestle with him, trying to make him burn up a lot of energy.
This is round 5. James Scott in the black. Jerry Martin in the red.
In the corners, you will see that Martin is leaning on him with his shoulders. If the corner would tell Scott, if he was fake one way, step the other way, the man would fall. Martin would fall forward. He could counter it. This is a tough fight.
A lot of holding, a lot of grabbing right throughout.
And a lot of punching throughout.
Again, referee Venti breaks the fighters. Less than 30 seconds left. 5th round. Scott not able to connect on that left-hand attack.
Earlier, Scott threw an uppercut. It worked. I can't see why. A couple of times he's been over the top of the right hand off the break. Now he should revert back to the uppercut just one more time to see if it works. If you find something that works, keep using it.
Final seconds. Round 5. We'll be back in a moment. A Upstairs in the recreation room, inmates watching our telecast of the fight, several hundred. Watching from the rafters here in the gym area. In fact, Jerry Martin spent several hours here at Rahway yesterday. Said he wanted to try and adjust himself to the surroundings. He adjusted very early with those knockdowns of Scott in rounds 1 and 2.
Yeah, so far, Scott has proven he's in very good shape, and he has very good recuperative powers. He's coming in, he's pressing the action again, and he's taking it to the man. This is what he has to do. While he's on the inside, he's safer. When he goes outside, he gets caught with the overhand right. He gets caught with the man's power. On the inside, he's smothering everything. Or just about everything. How was that?
Just about as
Be my big mouth, huh? He has proven that he is tough, and he wants it.
We're in round 6.
Gary tried the uppercut again, and it worked.
And James Scott has certainly turned around since the difficulties in rounds 1 and 2.
As you can see, Scott's hands are working well. Martin's hands are on the side of his cheeks. Each time that Scott throws an uppercut, it should work. It should go to the body, to the head, and then back with an uppercut. Because the man Martin is set up for it perfectly. When Scott starts throwing, both hands go on the cheeks. A good right hand by Martin. As I was saying, both hands go on the cheeks, which leaves his chin wide open. And Scott should try to come underneath more and do more. He has good power underneath. He has his whole body behind the punch. Amen. How was that for a sermon, sir?
Ken, so easy for you to sit back here and be critical, isn't it?
It's so much fun to sit back here and be critical rather than getting hit myself.
We approach the 1-minute mark remaining. Round 6. Again, they're chanting for Scott. That time he did not connect on the uppercut.
But it was very close.
Jerry Martin actually feels he's stronger than James Scott. He said that as an inmate, all Scott does is train, but people overlook the fact that the human body can take only so much training, and that statement annoyed Scott.
I think that Martin is the only individual who has come into this institution that has not been affected by the institution, by the propaganda behind the institution.
Scott able to land on Martin. That's true, Ken, because most fighters will say now has no effect at all, then they'll come out and be very intimidated. And right now, James Scott and Jerry Martin are in a war in round 6. What an exchange between the two, and Scott has Martin hurt.
They are battling, trading punches.
We're concluding round 6 with non-stop action. All right, Ken, here's how the 6th round wound up with both Scott and Martin able to land.
As we can see, Martin is a bit faster than Scott. He throws double left hooks, double right hands. Scott is trying to stay inside, throw a good power hook. There we saw a good power hook. But he has to throw more of them and throw them more often.
That left hook stunned Martin as we go to round 7 here at Rahway State Prison, Rahway, New Jersey. James Scott was knocked down in round 1, knocked down in round 2, and has come back very strong. It's a tough fight to score at this point.
That's very dangerous on Scott's part for charging in with his head like that. It's very easy to get a cut. But now it comes down to who's in the best shape and who wants it the most. I think at the present time, Martin is head on point, but Scott is still coming strong. These last few rounds will be the telling round. To borrow an old cliche, both men have upper body strength.
An old cliche. Jerry Martin in the red, James Scott in the black. Scott undefeated, Martin at 18-1. That time Martin.
The jab again he threw. Scott almost got caught, but he was saving. That was a good uppercut by Scott. These men are trading blows. They're both being very aggressive. And now it's down to, as I said before, who wants it the most. One other thing here is that Scott cannot afford to lose this fight. The problems that he has of being an inmate and trying to gain recognition, trying to be ranked. He has to win the fight. He's coming on strong now.
Good
right
left
hand. Good left hook.
And a right. Connecting on Jerry Martin. And now the inmates are chanting Superman. That's James Scott's new image. He wears the Superman shirt, as you saw right before the fight.
I stated during the fight, Scott's main asset was wearing this man down. He has been absorbing a lot of points with this fight. On the other hand, and after the fight, Martin is also getting tired. And Scott is in very good shape.
Scott right here trying to get off the ropes, was nearly caught a moment ago.
A good left hook that time going off the ropes. And it seems as though he's kind of an open glove now. That is, takes away some of his punching power. But then again, he can also cut Mr. Martin.
Referee is Paul Venti, and the judges Eva Shane, Richard Murray. Venti just told Scott, watch your head, warning him of a butt possibility. Final seconds, 7th round. From Rowe, Marv Albert, Ken Norton.
I was watching in the corners, Marv, James Scott, even though the battling has been tough, hard, did not take one deep breath. The man is in very good shape. And on the other side, Martin is also in very good shape, but he's starting to tire a bit, and he's starting to take in the deep breaths through the mouth. So as I said before, Scott does wear his man down with punches. He might be wearing him down now with the pressure, even though he's absorbing the punches.
And a good combination by James Scott, who looked to be a beaten man in round 1 and then in round 2. Prior to today, as a professional, he had only been sent to the canvas twice. I should say once, and he was sent down twice here today. That time Martin was able to spin Scott around and connect.
This is where Scott cannot afford to lay back on the rope. When he does, he's not safe. His punches are nullified. He must be on the outside, initiating the action. Good body blows by Martin. Those body blows take a lot out of it, twice as much as a headshot.
Ken, we may be reaching the point where Scott will have to go for a knockout very, very soon. As you mentioned, Martin would have the edge.
My feeling right now is that Martin is ahead on points. Then again, I am not the judge. But a very good hook by Scott, followed by a counter by Martin. As I was saying, I feel that Martin is ahead on points. That's only my opinion. I feel that Scott right now has to initiate the action. He has to win the final round. As you said before, it's getting to the point where I feel, and you also feel, I even have thought about it. I said it, that Scott must win by knockout.
1 minute left. Round 8. Combination thrown by Scott.
Low blow. Right, very low blow.
And he's warned by the referee, Paul Venti.
Right back. Did you see that?
Yes, Martin.
Martin came right back to him with a low blow.
Martin retaliating, no question about it.
Scott has not fighting this man at all. Being here in the prison is not fighting this man. He came here to fight, he came here to win. Oh! Both men were trading right hand. Martin's right hand landed first.
Could have had a double knockout.
Very bad cut over right under the left eye of Scott.
Final seconds, round 8, and yes, James Scott is cut.
It's not, I'm sorry, it's not cut under the eye.
There's the cut under the left eye of James Scott, attended to by his physician, Dr. Ferdy Pacheco.
The only good thing about the cut is that it's under the eye. By being under the eye, the blood cannot run into the eye. It will not affect his vision. Here again, he has to stay on the inside, smother Martin's punches, and work. And now I feel he has to win by a knockout.
This is round 9, scheduled for 10, and Jerry Martin has been sensational, surprising a lot of folks, although Scott continues to try and intimidate, and Martin keeps barreling in.
Yeah, but Scott is tough. He's a tough man. Here, double left took by Martin. Scott retaliates.
And Scott says more, but that is what he has been getting. James Scott's undefeated record very much on the line. 1 minute in, round 9.
This has been a tough, hard fight from bell one.
For those of you who may have just joined us, James Scott was knocked down in the first round, knocked down in the second round.
Hold it, step out,
And was
a little too low.
hit hard and was hurt in round 8.
Martin's corner's hollering, you gotta knock him out.
Good combination by Scott. Tough body blow landed by Martin.
This is a fight where Scott has to come on now and win by a knockout. Plus, there's a lot of pressure on James Scott. By being an inmate, as I stated before, there is so much pressure on Scott that he has to win. If not, he will be put back in the ranks and put back in boxing.
Right, step out.
In effect, he will not be taken as seriously. Although the WBA did drop him out of the rankings, Ring Magazine still has him as number 1. But Jerry Martin is an opponent who has to be respected. He is number 2 in the WBC rankings and number 10 in Ring Magazine.
Those body shots are hurting Scott. Good shot, kicking right under the liver.
20 seconds left. Round 9. To lead with the left hand.
Right, step out.
And that is it for the 9th round. Go to the 10th and final round as we follow James Scott back to his corner. He is cut under the left eye. Jerry the Bull out of Antigua, now living in North Philadelphia, record of 18-1, 12 of the 18 by knockout, 26 years old, and has had himself a tremendous knockout for a victory.
He has to win by knockout, and as I stated previously in the fight, he must win in order to stay in boxing, in the boxing eye.
Hands up.
Those are hard body shots by Martin.
And it was Martin who was able to go to the attack here as we open up in round 10. James Scott's undefeated record on the line.
Here you can see Martin leaning in again when Scott is in the rope. He's putting all his weight on Scott. Scott is trying to control his weight. Plus, he cannot get off and throw his body shot.
And despite the heat of the ring that we have discussed, both fighters still looking very strong.
Very strong, very fresh, and they have set a tremendous pace. These are two very good fighters, man. No matter who wins, they both have to be contended with in the light heavyweight ranks.
Scott did fight one draw. That was early in his career back in Miami in '74 at the hands of Junior Royster. But he has won 18, has never been beaten.
I think Don King is watching Jerry Martin.
I would think so. Minute and a half left. And the final round, round 10.
Has to win by knockout now.
Able to land a right hand, and the crowd urging him on.
He's hitting Martin with the right hand. He's landing the punches, but Martin does not seem to feel the effect of each punch.
Good left hand by Martin.
Double left hook by Martin. Uppercut by Martin.
Less than a minute remaining. It is desperation time now for Scott. He's able to land, but Martin countering.
That was a good left hook by Scott there, and it hurt Martin. It stunned him. is it too late? That's the question.
Scott landing to the body. 30 seconds left. Final round.
A good uppercut. A good hook by Mark. A good hook by Scott.
They continue to exchange as we approach the 10-second mark.
From round one, this fight has been hard, tough, and toe-to-toe.
And it has continued right throughout with Scott going down in rounds 1 and round 2. It is all over. Back with the decision right after we pause for this one. Announcer Frank Shane.
You're right there.
Here is the voting of the officials, ladies and gentlemen. Judge Richard Murray, 7 rounds, Martin, 3 rounds, Scott. Judge Eva Shane, 6 rounds, Martin, 4 rounds, Scott. Referee Paul Venti, 6 rounds, Martin, 4 rounds, Scott. The winner by unanimous decision, Jerry Martin.
In a major upset, Jerry the Bull Martin has defeated James Scott here at Rahway State Prison. An enormous victory for the man out of Antigua and North Philadelphia. And here's James Scott to congratulate Jerry Martin. As you can see, James with the cut onto the left eye. Jerry, obviously you were not bothered by the surroundings here at all.
I told you that yesterday. I told you I came in here to do one job, to beat Scott.
James, your comment.
Yeah, Jerry Martin's a damn good fighter, man. He should have had shot me. At least he's out of prison. I'm in prison. He should have got shot before me. He's a damn good fighter, man. God bless him. Can't take no from him. Thank you.
All right, James. Jerry, what is next? What is next for Jerry the Bull Martin?
Let the mind's going to predict what I do next. I don't know what I do. I have to go back to your gym and get prepared for somebody. Leon is the one saying who I get prepared for.
Okay, this could mean a title shot next for Jerry Martin. For James Scott, we'll just have to wait and see. He is